Hey wonderful people, Aid set me a quest, and that was to build a oil cup for the Wig Wag Duplex. It'd be good to put an oil cup in here on the secondary frame for that bearing. But how do you actually make an oil cup? Well, what Aid suggested was to get a piece of brass stock. This one is 12 OD, and turn it down to a stem, which you could then put a M4 thread on. I tried that and I found it really hard because my M4 die wouldn't really go right up against it, and only ended up making a few threads, and in the end I actually didn't get it straight, and it was a disaster. But as you know, us amateur engineers are good at improvising, so I've come up with an alternative method of making a little oil cup. Let me show you what I did. It all starts at the horizontal bandsaw. Notice I've extended the jaws right out to the point where the blade comes down. There she blows. Welcome to my Proxon mini lathe. And then take the V chamfer tool, and the idea is to cut a chamfer down to about M5. Let me show you what I have in mind. And then take the part out and turn it round. I've actually cut this way too long, so I'm actually going to cut a bit of this off right now. The next job is a center drill, a nice big center drill, because you're going to be putting in a really big drill bit. And now, the radical touch. This is radical. So this is a 10.2 or M12 size tapping drill, and I want to go pretty well the, how am I going to measure that? And so let's say that is 10. So I want to drill this part 8 millimeters deep. Eight. So just to show you what we've got at this present, so we've now got a thin-walled piece of brass with a taper and no hole all the way through. Notice that, of course, that a standard drill bit is conical, so it makes a nice conical end for a oil cup. The next idea is just wonderful. Using these drills, I really like this drill company called Alpen. These are stubby drills, and I'm going to drill it M4. and all will become clear. M4 all the way through and out the other side. There we go. That part, apart from cleaning up, is done. So you've got an M4 hole and a 10.2 millimeter hole in an M12 piece of brass with a conical end. How's that going to work? Well, come over to the next step and I'll show you. And here's the next step. This is M4 diameter brass pipe, which I'm going to make the stem of the oil cup. But first of all, I'm going to thread it to the length that I want in my steam engine. So not too much, maybe 5 mil, at least 4 or 5 nicely cut threads. And there we go. Maybe just a bit more. That's better. So that what that means is that you can put this M4 tap on the hollow brass rod. And then cut off as much as you want for the stem with a couple of more circles round. Tighten every time, and there she goes. So now what you've got is an oil cup in 2 parts. You've got the stem and the cup. Let's go back over to the bench and put them together. Oops. Small parts, big fingers. And we know it's going to be a good interference fit. Chamfering the hole is a good idea. That will just help it get started and also make it look a bit prettier. And knock it in quite a ways. So now effectively you've got an oil cup with a thread, and inside it's just the right length. And another tool which works well are these conical chamfering tools, and this one fits in perfectly. Yeah. And so what that's done is carried the cone shape of the drill bit down into the M4 pipe that you've inserted. Let's go over to the polishing wheel and make it pretty. So there we have it. Oops, an oil cup, conical, quite big, with a nice, definitely good M4 thread, which I can drill into this and place it on an oil cup on the duplex. Win-win. You can of course scale this up or down. Smaller brass bar stock, I could imagine it would look actually quite pretty half this scale. M6, M5 drill, you know, M2 thread, yeah, any scale you want. But that's my method of making an oil cup. Pretty easy. Thanks, Aid.